as Tottenham lose 2-1 to Bayern Munich in the final game of the Asia Tour. And with it being 2 weeks until the first game against Leicester in the Premier League, there is still business taking place in the transfer window. Firstly, what is the latest update on Emerson Royale's move to AC Milan? Tottenham are eyeing up their attacking options and we're looking at Pedro Neto and Eberechi Eze. And finally, Tottenham are pursuing a move for Bournemouth striker Dominic Solanke. Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today welcome back to another transfer video. And of course it is less than 2 weeks until our Premier League opening game against Leicester at the King Power Stadium. And yeah, of course there is still business going on in the transfer window, so yeah, let's get into the video. Okay then, so what is the latest update on Emerson Royale? Of course, it's been throughout pretty much the whole transfer window about Emerson Royale to AC Milan. It's pretty much going to happen. Of course, Fabrizio Romano did put this on yesterday. He put on AC Milan and Tottenham will have final round of talks to close Emerson Royale's deal to AC Milan tomorrow, which is today. 50 million euros plus add-ons in the package. Emerson's on the verge of becoming a new AC Milan player. So, I mean, most of the Spurs fans, the Milan fans as well, were probably thinking, oh, Emerson, it's pretty much done. But then, this morning, Ben Jacobs, who is a senior reporter for Give Me Sport, he said that he understands that Emerson Royale is not a priority for AC Milan. Apparently AC Milan want to strengthen in their midfield and in their attack. Now, I mean, I'm not sure if this is completely reliable or not, because apparently, you know, Ben Jacobs isn't the most reliable source in the world, but this is the news that is obviously, you know, broken out about Emerson, so it just has to be reported. Whether it's true or not, it has to be spoken about. But I mean, I don't really get that, because literally Milan have wanted to sign Emerson for absolutely ages, and then all of a sudden Milan are like, yeah, we don't really need, you're not really our top priority right now. But that just completely just doesn't make sense for me. But let's be real, it's probably not true, but yeah. Okay then, so what is going on in the attacking department at Tottenham? Now, of course, we have been linked with a lot of attacking players, you know, Eze, Gyökeres, Jonathan David. I mean, I think a lot of us Spurs fans say that we probably need to sign a winger, a striker, because let's be real, Richarlison, you know, he's had a lot of interest from Saudi, and he gets injured half the time. And I think we just need to sign a winger that takes on the fullback. And I swear I saw something. I'm not sure if it's true or not, or I'm not sure if it's true or not, or I might just be making this up. But I think Ange said that he wants to sign like some more attacking players in the team, which I'm not sure if that's true or not, or I'm just making it up. But I swear on my mum's life I saw something like that. But Paul O'Keefe, who does work for Sky Sports, he was on the Last Word on Spurs, like little podcast thing on Monday, I think it was. And of course, he is obviously quite a reliable source, because it's Paul O'Keefe, and of course he works for Sky Sports, so of course it's going to be quite reliable. But I mean, he was with, I can't remember what the bloke's name is, but obviously he was on with Last Word on Spurs on Monday. And of course I think the guy said, oh, what's going on with, you know, with Eze and Neto, because I think previously, you know, of course, I think I have spoken about Eze in a recent video about saying that, oh, we're interested in him and stuff. But I mean, I haven't really seen anything about Neto before Paul O'Keefe said this. But Paul, I mean, when the person asked Paul O'Keefe that, oh, what's going on? Are we going to sign one of Pedro or Eze? But Paul O'Keefe said this. He said, from what I can gather, it's going to be Eze or Neto. So from what he has said there, we are going to try and sign one of Eberechi Eze or Pedro Neto. Now, I'll start by talking about Eze, because 20 hours ago, Gary Jacobs said, although Tottenham like Eberechi Eze, they do not want to meet Crystal Palace's demands for the bulk of £60 million, which is Eze's release clause. And then apparently this has complicated the move now as well. Apparently, so I mean, in all honesty, I think it's going to be very, very difficult to get Eze into the club, because obviously, if you look at the departures, I mean, Crystal Palace, they've lost Michael Elise to Bayern Munich. Mark Gahey's very close to going to Newcastle, and I very doubt Palace would want to sell Eze as well. I don't think Palace would want to sell their best 3 players, because, like I just said, Elise has gone to Bayern. Mark Gahey's very close to going to Newcastle, and I just cannot see Palace wanting to sell Eze. And if we don't want to meet the 60 million release clause for Eze, I just, in all honesty, I think at the start of the window, or even before the window opened, I was like, we need to get Eze in. We need to sign Eze. And I'm sure I wasn't the only Spurs fan that's saying, we need to get Eze. We need Eze. Get Eze. Get Eze. Eze. But in my opinion, I just cannot see this move happen now. Like I said, with Elise going to Bayern, Mark Gahey potentially going to Newcastle, I just cannot see Crystal Palace selling Eze as well. I mean, I'd love us to sign Eze, but I just cannot see it happen anymore, because, like I said, Palace, they won't want to sell him. If we can't even meet his release clause, and the move has just gone completely complicated now, I can't see this move happening, in all honesty. And then obviously about Pedro Neto. Now, I wouldn't mind Pedro Neto. I think he's a very good player. I mean, to be fair, well, not even to be fair, Neto did say, Neto did say this 5 days ago. Fabrizio Romano said this. Neto said this. This is what Fabrizio Romano reported. Pedro Neto said about his future at Wolves. He said, staying at Wolves, I love this club. I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to take this team to another level. That is what he said. So he's clearly happy at Wolves, from what he said there. But I mean, he said staying at Wolves, like with a bit of a, like staying at Wolves. It wasn't like staying at Wolves. It was like staying at Wolves. It was a bit like a question. Like, I mean, yeah. Anyway, whatever. But then Gary Jacob also reported 20 hours ago that Tottenham also want to sign another winger and cover at left back. They've watched Pedro Neto in the past, so we clearly know a lot about Neto if we've watched him in the past. And then Matt Law said Tottenham are interested in Pedro Neto, but they are yet to make a bid for the winger. Now, I think the problem is if we sign Neto, he gets injured a lot. I mean, I saw his injury stats with Wolves. He's had about 2 hamstring injuries. He's had a calf injury. He gets injured quite a lot, a bit like Richarlison. So, if we do sign Neto, that's probably a problem that we might have, is that he gets injured quite often. Eze, I mean, yeah, he did get injured a few times last season with Palace, but overall, Eze doesn't really get injured that often. But if you're probably asking me right now, Zach, who do you want to sign, Eze or Neto? Obviously, I would want to say Eze, but if you've got to think about it. Obviously, like I just said, I'd love us to sign Eze, but I think it probably would be better for us to go in for Neto, because Palace wants 60 million. We don't even want to pay 60 million. And I just think, Neto, I think it would be easier for us to get than Eze, in my opinion. Okay then, so what is going on with Dominic Solanke? Now, it was first reported 6 days ago by Fabrizio Romano that Solanke is a top target for Spurs. Spurs want to sign a striker and a new winger. Of course, we've just spoken about a new winger, potentially being one of Eberechi Eze or Pedro Neto. Now, of course, like I just said, Fabrizio said 6 days ago, Solanke's a target for Tottenham. We want to sign Solanke, and of course a lot has happened a lot has happened in the past 6 days or so. Of course, now since that tweet from Fabrizio Romano about Dominic Solanke to Tottenham, Solanke's release clause is 65 million. Bournemouth don't want to sell Solanke because obviously Solanke is part of Bournemouth's plans for next season. But his release clause is 65 million. Tottenham apparently didn't want to pay 65 million for Solanke, and it made the deal quite complicated. But then apparently Solanke is itching, in quotation marks, to sign for Spurs. He wants to sign for Tottenham, and apparently we could pay Bournemouth 55 million for Solanke, and we could sign Solanke as well. But then I also did see yesterday or the past few hours, that we want to sign Solanke before the first game, which is Leicester in less than 2 weeks' time. And but then, of course, 2 hours ago, Tom Barkley said this: Tottenham are growing in confidence that they will land Bournemouth striker Dominic Solanke this summer. Solanke enjoyed his best season in the Premier League last campaign, notching up with 19 goals and 3 assists. And I think overall, I was messaging my friend yesterday who's an Aston Villa fan, and he said, oh, Solanke's shit, he's bang average, should have gone for Tony. I think, again, Tony would be a good signing for us, but I can't see him leaving Brentford. And, again, Brentford want high money for Tony as well. So do Bournemouth for Solanke, but, I would like us to sign Tony, but like I just said, I can't see him leaving Brentford. And for me, I think Tony and Tottenham was scrapped ages ago, in my opinion. But overall, I think Solanke would be a good signing for us. We had one good season, but rarely gets injured, scores a lot of goals, and I just think would be a good signing for us. I think it would be better than Richarlison, because Richarlison, like I said earlier, he's had interest from Saudi. He just doesn't score enough goals, and he just gets injured half the time. Let's be real. And half the time we have to play Sonny up front, and a lot of Tottenham fans know that we want Heung-min Son to be on the left, and we want, a striker up front. We just want a striker up front. And overall, I just think Solanke would be a good signing. 55 million for me. I wouldn't even pay 55 million. I would try and make it as difficult as possible, because how Bournemouth wants 65 million for Dominic Solanke is an absolute joke. If we're even paying 55 million, that's still a joke. If I was Levy, Johan Lange, I would be saying to Bournemouth, you know what? We're not paying 65 million. We're not paying 55 million. We're going to pay around 35 to 40. Take it or leave it. Because, yes, Solanke's a good player. Yes, last season was a very good season for him. He was joint fourth in the Golden Boot. 38 shots on target last season. Let's be real. Solanke is Bournemouth's best player. Bournemouth will 100% not want to sell him, because he is part of Andoni Iraola's plans for next season. He is part of Iraola's plans for next season, but we need to sign a striker. It needs to happen. If it isn't Solanke, I've seen we're linked with loads of other strikers. We're linked with Jonathan David from Lille, Victor Gyökeres. We're linked with Tony in the past, but apparently I did see something like the other day that we're apparently interested again. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But for me, if this Solanke deal doesn't happen, don't worry, Tottenham fans. Just don't worry, because we're linked with many other strikers. But overall, in my opinion, I would want us to sign Solanke, but I wouldn't pay 55 million. But knowing Levy and Lange, they'll just do it anyway because they're just a bit clueless. But yeah, anyway, put down in the comments, Tottenham fans, what is your thoughts on Dominic Solanke? How much would you pay for Dominic Solanke? And the main question is, do you think he will be wearing a Tottenham shirt on the 19th of August? Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Smash a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.